I just don't personally have an interest in selling things. Like selling things isn't where the interest is. The interest is in inventing. And so the selling follows because it has to. You can't just invent things and just do nothing with them.
Hey everyone, this is Nazar Akil from Max Pro.
Hi, I'm Linda.
And I'm Paul.
And we're 11 Pebbles.
Hi, this is Lopa Vandermersch from Rasa.
And you're listening to
the E-Comm Show.
Welcome to the E-Comm Show, presented by BlueTuskr, the #1 place to hear the inside scoop from other e-commerce experts, where they share their secrets on how they scaled their business and are now living the dream. Now, here is your host, Andrew Maff.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the E-Comm Show. I'm your host, Andrew Maff, and today I am joined by Amy Leinback, who is the co-owner of Big B Little B. Unfortunately, the other co-owner is sick right now, and that's okay. Marlo, we send our regards. But Amy, thank you so much for being on the show. I love starting these off. Let's do the stereotypical thing, pretend no one's ever heard of you, blah, blah, blah. Tell us a little about your background, about the business, how you guys got started, and we can go from there.
Yeah, I don't have a background in anything to do with what I do now. I used to be a voice actor.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right? Self-taught all the way. I used to be a voice actor, special educator, and I've been doing this full time for, a while now, I guess since 2016. Started the business based on a product I created for Marlo when she was a baby, which we don't sell anymore because we're not focused on baby goods. But then, it grew from there, and I'm an inventor. My daughter's an inventor. So the products that we sell are our own patented innovations. And it's been about every year or so, we come out with a new one. And for better or worse, depending on if you watch Shark Tank. And so, my daughter, who just turned 8, is is the co-owner of this business. I'm the big B, she's the little B, and she's the inspiration. And as of last year, she's one of the inventors as well, because one of our products, the Marker Parker, was truly invented by her, and we developed it together. And and now we're about to launch a new product very, very soon. So, yeah.
What is currently the top seller?
So it is still, I'd say, Scrubby. Scrubby is a silicone scrubber that I developed for her when she was 2.5 to help her learn to wash herself. It took off immediately. That was the product that helped us grow like 100% year over year until supply chain completely broke down. And we were without that product for quite a while, which in a way helped some of our other products catch up and things like that. But it's back in stock now. Came back in stock just a short while ago, just the beginning of Q4 of this past year. Thank goodness. But Marker Parker is really starting to take off. So it's a relatively new product. Scrubby's still the one that's in, hundreds of stores and all that.
So as you have already mentioned, you're on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I try not to harp on it for too long. It's always like the same questions over and over again. But what, so obviously you were on the show. What made you decide to be on the show? What was it like being on the show? What's life been like after the show?
It was just, it was kind of just for us. I mean, I don't mean to diminish it, but it was one of, a great milestone. I'm very lucky to be connected to an incredible group of inventors, entrepreneurs, and so many of my friends have been on the show. And it was kind of like, I don't mean to say it was like a rite of passage, but in a way. So, my friends just really encouraged me to go on the show. And I knew, of course, that you can't buy that kind of advertising. We're a self-funded business, no investment whatsoever. And you get in front of millions of people. And we're very lucky. We were on Good Morning America too, and a couple of times in The View, and every time that happens, you get a big boost, and it in a way it opens some new doors. You get some new contacts and things like that. And so it was, she was 7.5. It was this season. So it was this past summer. She was 7.5 when we went on. And, when she came out with her invention, there was no way I wasn't going to do it. What kind of like insanely proud parent doesn't talk about their kid all the time, want to show everything, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show it to millions of people. And so we did. And that's an experience that we'll have forever. A crazy, unique, amazing experience. And we focused on making it fun and bringing our A game and just letting it be the unique experience that it was.
Nice. And how has it been post Shark Tank? I know that you were just on this past season, so I'd imagine you probably haven't re-aired yet. So it's probably just the one episode so far.
Funny timing. So we aired on October 21st. That was just 3 months ago or something. And we just found out yesterday we're re-airing this week. So yeah. So, okay. Getting ready for that because, you asked just before, like what it's like, fortunately you get a big rush of traffic and that's fantastic. So, the next couple of days are just kind of preparing for that and just making sure everything's all cleaned up. And so that's cool. That's what's happening.
It's got to be nice to get a warning that you're about to get a big rush of traffic. I know sometimes when we talk to sellers that like randomly go viral that they weren't expecting and they just weren't ready for it, and the site just basically implodes.
Yeah, and it definitely happens, because a lot of times I won't even know what happened, right? All of a sudden you're just like traffic and you're like, okay, somebody shared something somewhere and I don't even know where it is or, what happened, but like, okay, let's do this. So yeah, it is nice to have a couple days of warning. Yeah.
That's good. So you also mentioned, you were on The View, you're on Good Morning America. Obviously, before the show and everything, I kind of do some digging and go to your site, and the amount of press that you have gotten is astonishing. There's not a lot of brands that are your size that have been on those shows. And then I should have wrote them down, but you have like right on the homepage, there's got to be a good 15, 20 different publications and shows and stuff that you have been on. So do you have a background in PR or do you have a PR company? Like, I know I'm guessing being on Shark Tank, you then get reached out by people, but were some of those pre-Shark Tank?
They were all pre-Shark Tank. Those were all, they were all pre-Shark Tank. And, it's so funny. Like sometimes I get people reach out to you and you think they're fake. Like I was listening to I hope I'm pronouncing it, Pluffle guys who were on your show who, funny enough, we actually taped the same day. We were in the tram together and we're chatting, great guys. And they were saying that like when they heard from Shark Tank, they thought it was fake because they hadn't even really started yet. And so some of those things just kind of come and I'm like, I never know what's real, not real, whatever, but I'm, I try to be a respectful person and I always reply. And funny because some of them are expensive opportunities and I'm like, yeah, it's not for me. I can't pay, we can't pay for press, but they come in and they saw us somewhere and, some of them have been customers. It's really funny. Like the scout for some show was like, yeah, you advertised to me or something. And I barely advertised, but like, you advertised to me. I have a 2-year-old and we love your product. So I thought I'd reach out. And so that's how some of it has happened. But, as far as some of the things that I'm always very open about what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And it's funny you ask if I have a PR background. It's honestly like marketing and that side of things is one of my greatest weaknesses. I feel like it's great to have gotten the press, but I can't take credit for it. And it's definitely one of the things I really struggle with. Do fine, but I do not like feel like I have confidence in it. It's not the strength.
Yeah. So how are you getting business right now? You mentioned you're doing a little bit of advertising, but what is your marketing strategy?
Yeah. When I say like minimal ad spend, I mean pretty minimal. Just starting to do TikTok, a little bit of TikTok. And that's really nice. I was really scared of it for a while. Didn't understand it. Wasn't on it as a user. But I've started to do some TikToks in a way that kind of work for me. Like I like to do behind the scenes stuff. I'll talk about product all day long, right? And behind the scenes, and I love to help people create their products just for fun, not like I have a side hustle or anything. And so kind of finding a bit of my stride there, let's say, and I'm noticing a lot of traffic come in. A lot of word of mouth. Very, very grateful for that. We have customers who come back who say like, anything you create, I'll buy, and they buy as gifts and things like that. You really can't beat word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
I'll say that my efforts really depend on the product itself. Fortunately, when Scrubby's available, it kind of does its thing. You know what I mean? It just rolls. It's got a good Amazon ranking, all of that, and I just let it be. That product's in major retail as well. Marker Parker, this year we've learned quite a bit that it's the big draw for it is preschools using it in the classroom, and we saw that pretty quick. So that's more of let's say like a groundswell, very like grassroots, reaching out. Preschool teachers reach out to us. They got it as a parent. They want it for the classroom. And so that's like a very different way of selling that we're learning. And Build a Straw, that's a very point of purchase product because it's silicone reusable straw. You need it when you need it. And then the new product that's coming out, the fun part is in the first couple of months, we'll learn where it's going to be successful. Fortunately, I have a lot of retailers who are just ready for it, which is great. They like our products and they're ready, and we have the relationships with buyers and they're ready for it too. And but how it succeeds, will it be brick and mortar? Will it be Amazon? Will it be we've never done affiliate marketing, but we're going to try. Will that be where it really shines? We get to see, and that's part of the really fun part about launching a new product, at least for me.
Yeah. So you're not as common of an e-commerce seller that we've worked with on the show, because a lot of sellers, they're either they've sourced some product that they found, somewhere, and they were like, all right, this I'll sell this. Or you get the ones that know of a product that currently exists and they're like, I can probably make this better.
Right.
You're one of very few where you're inventing something completely new. It does not exist. There's not like another type of version of the Market Parker or anything like that. Like it's just, that's it. How do you come up with these ideas for things that just don't exist at all, and actually not only go from the idea, but all the way to getting it created and then selling it?
So I would say I can't turn it off. Okay. And it's really funny. You have a kid and you start to see the same habits, whether it's nature or nurture. I don't know, but it's funny with her too. It's the constant need to just problem solve. Like, okay, this isn't working. And my husband jokes that it's just, I'm always building efficiencies into things. And so I think that that's how the inventions come to me. But as far as inventing, I think I'm fearless. Like, I'm like, okay, if it doesn't work, like I'll start prototyping, put a little money into it. I do very rough homemade prototypes, like that's how I start. I don't think in 2D, I think in 3D. So I'll throw it together and it's like, doesn't work. It doesn't work, that's fine. And if it's starting to work, I'll take it a little further. And like it said, I'm self-taught. And so there was a steep learning curve in the beginning. Like with my first product, I made a ton of mistakes, wasted a bunch of money, not a lot in big picture, not a lot of money, but money I would not waste now. I'm very quick to market now where I wasn't before. I'm better at assessing whether this is going to sell earlier on. But for me, I just don't personally have an interest in selling things. Like selling things isn't where the interest is. The interest is in inventing. And so the selling follows because it has to. You can't just invent things and just do nothing with them. But like now, like one of the things I think of so early on in the inventing process is it going to catch somebody's attention in a 3-second scroll? Like if they're scrolling past an Amazon listing or they're scrolling past a Facebook ad, you have a few seconds to catch their attention. And the first product I mentioned, that it was a very unique cushion baby bath towel that people really fell in love with, but they did not understand it from a picture. that barely could understand it from like a 30-second video. Like you needed to understand the value prop. Otherwise, it just looked like a funny looking towel. And so would I have made that again like now? No, because I knew I wasn't going to catch them. So I'd rather take something that I've thought of that I know solves a problem, that that I'm going to catch their eye and they're going to get it. And so, like with the new product, it's a massive improvement on a traditional silicone bag. I've been working on this problem. This is probably the problem I've been working on the longest. This is years. I'm like, there's a better solution to food storage. No lost lids. Enough of that. No difficult to clean. All of that stuff I've been working on. But when I was thinking of it, I was like, it's got to communicate so fast. And that's when I went for it. So that's in that way, I'm thinking of selling now before even bringing something to market, whereas I never did before. That's the school of hard knocks teaching me that.
What does Marlo think of the business?
She loves it. She loves being an inventor. She's it's so funny to see the spark in her. And I'd say she knows so much about business and product development, and her eye is so developed, it cracks me up. She will call out, "Ooh, I think this was a mistake in manufacturing. Not sure they should have done that." Like she'll tell you like so much about the materials. She can tell you the durometer of the silicone we're using in a given product because she's genuinely fascinated by it. And so is she excited about the business itself? I don't know. I mean, fine. What to her, it's like whatever. And she's just lived with it. But as far as like the products and developing the products, yeah, she loves it. She invents every day. Are we taking them all to market? No. In the same way we don't take all mine. But she loves the process. Yeah.
What is the end goal with the business?
Such a good question you're asking me at such a good time. It's hard to say right now at this juncture when I'm launching a brand new product. But if you backtrack to when we stood on the stage in Shark Tank, and I genuinely don't remember what left was in the edit and not, but I was going for licensing. I really wanted to do licensing. The thing is like you can tell I have a passion for the products and I want them to be as widely available as possible. I don't have much of an ego about, I have very little ego about myself and my brand and it needing to be like mine. It's like I wanted, the soft shell, the new product in every home in America. I want the Marker Parker in every elementary school and preschool in America. And there are companies that are, these are established selling channels, to schools. And if they can do a better job at distribution, then that's the path I want to take. Do I want to sell the company now? No, definitely not. But you know what I mean? I don't see those as like, oh, I'll sell. No, I want to license the products to the right partner for the product. Right. And so that's what I'm looking at now. And I know nothing of licensing, nothing. So now once I get past launching this product and establishing it in the next, like, let's say couple of months, then hitting the ground running, teaching myself licensing and all of that. And we'll see. And if you ask me in 6 months what I'm doing with the business, my answer will probably change. Because
we'll do a recap episode.
I feel like that's like what happens, especially through COVID, COVID and supply chain nightmares and all that stuff. It's like, I don't know. I don't know necessarily, but that's the goal. I'll tell you now, that's the goal.
So, or is your thought to teach yourself licensing and go through the process, or are you thinking maybe just hiring like some kind of consultancy around licensing or something like that?
Me with guidance. It's just, if it's not learning, it's not fun. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things I have no interest in learning, and that's usually to do with data. But no, thank you. No numbers, give me hives. But the things that I think I am capable of learning, I want to learn it. And if I run up against a roadblock, then I'll find the right person, I've already finding people to help guide me and all of that. But let's say I run into a major roadblock and I can't do it. Well, then I'd go and I'd find somebody. I really respect experts. But it would be no fun for me to hand that job over right now.
Yeah.
So.
And are you handling all aspects of the business right now? Is there any employees or contractors?
I work with contractors. Yeah. To
Mhm.
handle numbers, like I have amazing people. But yeah, I mean, as far as like supply chain and all development and, managing fulfillment, marketing, all of it, the content, all of it is still me.
Nice.
With help, but still me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned, you kind of, it took a little while, but you took the dive into TikTok.
Yeah.
First, what was your initial strategy going into it after you did start posting? And then also, how is it going for you now?
Okay. So when I started posting, like, I feel like I dabbled in it this time last year and then just stopped because I was like, I don't get it. I'm not seeing this. I don't know, whatever. And I just stopped. And then a few months ago, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch it a little more, see what's going on. And then, you hear people talking about, you should do this and you should do this and you should do this. And I'm like, well, then I can't think of content. You know what I mean? If I'm always thinking of content that people are going to want to ingest, I'm going to get nowhere. So let me start talking about the things I want to talk about, because there's got to be somebody out there who wants to hear this, who's interested in product development like I am. And I do some fun ones now. Like I'm learning what trending things are and whatnot. But, when I figure, like, yeah, you might say, oh, well, you're not demoing the product all day and you're not doing the same thing, featuring the market, all of that. But if I'm talking about how it's made, or I'm talking about, like, let's, I don't know, try out this. And, somebody asked me if one marker fits and I'm like, I have no idea. I'll buy it and we'll try it. And there it is. And I love when the questions drive the content. But yeah, basically it's like, what do I want to talk about? And we had a mini flood in the house the other day. And I had my BBLB, Big B Little B, historical box, which had some of the early prototypes, things that it went for, didn't go for. And I'm like, that's a lot of content in there. That'll be fun. Is it moving forward necessarily these products I'm trying to sell? In some cases, yeah. In some cases, no. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say it's much of a strategy, except for not getting myself bogged down with trying to always think of content. Just make the content.
It all comes down to testing for the most part, right? Try something new, see if it works. If it works, then start doing more of that. It's usually pretty simple. But Amy, thank you so much for being on the show. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Obviously, give my, I'm going to say condolences. What's the right word? Tell Marlo to feel better.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being on the show. Everyone who tuned in, obviously, thank you as well. Please make sure you rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff on whichever podcast platform you want, or head over to ecommshow.com to watch the rest of our episodes. But thank you so much for joining us. Amy, thank you as well.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ecomm Show. Head over to ecommshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The Ecomm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the Ecomm Show.